Hello and welcome back to Business with Chad. So this is a pretty special episode because I have a special guest on with me today. So
Hello.
this is my friend Nathan Archer. Uh,
Hello, everybody.
Nathan and I have known each other for several years. We did track in high school, more specifically shot put, and we went to different colleges, but we've been reunited by the wonders of YouTube. So I made sure that I got him on an episode of Business with Chad. So today, this episode is going to be talking about an issue that is somewhat personal to a lot of people that live along the East Coast, and that is the traffic congestion on I-95. I know that it seems like it's always congested. It's really the rush hour. It's not an hour. It's like rush day or like
Oh
rush
yeah,
rush
Rush like
all
decade.
afternoon. Yeah, rush
Holy
decade.
lock.
So it's terrible. It's one of the worst roads as far as traffic. So in response to that, I came up with a list last summer actually, and I didn't really talk about it with anybody except a few close friends and family, but I decided to make a video about it because I think that it's important to discuss. So, I made a list of 23 suggestions. So yeah, how about that?
Right.
23
23.
suggestions.
And I'm here to analyze it and provide a second opinion based on my experiences and my knowledge of I-95.
hmm So I'm going to read off the suggestions, and Nathan's going to comment and see how feasible they are, see how much they would actually improve traffic flow.
Mm.
So the first suggestion I had was to extend the express lanes further south, because right now they end in Garrisonville in Stafford County, and so I would recommend that they extend those all the way into Spotsylvania County past Fredericksburg. I know that's already in the long-range plans, but I think the VDOT should really make that a priority in order to improve traffic flow. So the next one is to be to widen the express lanes.
Are we gonna go through the whole list and then go, or should
Yeah,
we
actually,
like
you know
go
what?
through each
No,
point
go. Yeah,
and?
you know what? Go ahead and talk about that
Okay.
proposal.
All right. So
Number one.
to Massaponax Church
Mhm.
Road.
Yes.
And Fredericksburg, is that? Can I look that up on Google Maps real quick?
Yeah,
Because I
it's
believe that's like
halfway between here
if
and Richmond.
if
Here
we
it
were to
is.
consider Northern Virginia
Mhm.
a place, and that
Fredericksburg
would be
might
like
be the border.
I want to say like
Southern.
southern Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
appropriate? Yeah.
Yeah. It would definitely be the southern end.
Because I would think traffic on I-95 is like the most congested in Northern Virginia, and as you get further south, it's more rural, so
Mhm.
it's less congested just in general since there's not as many people traveling on it.
Although it's still bad, so yeah.
Mhm. But it's not as bad in north. Is that correct?
Mm.
Because I would think if we were to put a border on it, when Northern Virginia ends would be the correct place to put it. So like ideally it would be extended everywhere, but if we were to put a stopping point, I agree that Fredericksburg should be the place.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of cars get off there, so that would be certainly an
Yeah, there's
option.
definitely like just looking at the map, there's a bunch of roads that go in different directions from there. So yeah, I agree that's a very appropriate place to end the express lane.
Mhm.
So the
So,
next one,
yeah, in addition to that would be to widen the express lanes from the Pennsylvania Parkway to the US Route 1, Route 17 interchange in Fredericksburg, because right now there are only two lanes there. The
yep,
southern part of that actually hasn't been built yet, but whenever they do build it, they should make it three lanes.
absolutely. I mean, I think that goes along the same lines. Just it's almost about the same thing. Just
Uh,
widen everything up to Fredericksburg.
mhm. Some of these are actually pretty minor. I don't really think worth
Well,
mentioning. Let's see.
we should still go over them at least, I would think.
Okay. So the next one would be to add a 24/7 HOV 3 plus lane in each direction on 995 from Spotsylvania to Richmond. So that would serve as a transition area between the Fredericksburg area where the express lanes would end and the Richmond area where there's another big drop off in traffic because once you get past Richmond, then I-95 traffic is much lighter.
Hmm.
So.
I agree that we should add that lane. I don't know about making it 24/7 though, because I know when I'm on I-95 late at night,
Mhm.
like I've driven up this a few weeks ago. I had to drive up from Rock Hill, South Carolina, to Northern Virginia at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was I don't want to say a ghost town, but it was very
Mhm.
empty. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't say like 24/7, but like at least during like rush hour to like
Mhm.
at least like maybe 9 or 10 at night, where it could still
Mhm.
be full of traffic. There should
So
definitely be an
so maybe
HOV lane
five
there.
in the
Yeah.
morning to 10 at night, perhaps would be good.
Yep, that sounds fair to me. Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is to add build collector distributor lanes at all interchanges along the I-95 corridor. So this is essentially to help with merging. It wouldn't improve congestion a significant amount. However, it would really help with merging, and it would help prevent accidents and improve safety along the corridor. And I know that that's something that they have at the Dale Boulevard intersection near the Potomac Mills exit on 95.
Mm.
So.
I agree with that. I know a big reason that like traffic gets caused is like people trying to merge and then like they have to go like they end up being slow, and from them going slow and having to get in front of cars, that just slows down traffic. So like
Mhm.
making it easier for cars to merge and just speed up traffic in general, that would absolutely, I think that's a very good point that you have.
That reminds me. You did that for Model Congress our senior
Oh
year.
yes,
You did the
the
bill.
steel
It's
necking
for
bill.
people. No, it was rubbernecking, right?
Well, yeah, it was
Yeah. Yeah,
anti-rubbernecking, so it was called the
anti-rubber.
steel
Yeah.
necking bill. I needed it to sound more powerful.
Yeah,
Yes.
you needed to, yeah, make it sound
Yeah,
alarming so that
but it
people
got
will.
killed in committee,
Oh
so
gosh, yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. I remember there was a guy in one of my committees, and he kept pigeonholing bills, and I struggled to understand
Mm.
what that meant, and I was like, wow, this is, we
It
can't
was the
have this.
worst, and it was. We
Yeah,
could just do a whole separate video on Model Congress if we wanted
we
to.
could. I think we should. We should invite Clark on because I know
We
he.
should,
I
yes.
work with him on
And
that.
who was because you were the speaker, is that correct?
Yes, I was. I was the Speaker
Who?
of the House,
And
and
I
then
think
Jacqueline Byers was the Majority Leader, and
Madeline was the.
yes.
She was somebody else. We could get her on here if we
Yeah,
needed
we
to.
could. Yeah,
Mm.
and then Thomas Irvin was the sergeant at arms. I chose him because he had a really loud
Mm.
voice.
I thought Sean was sergeant at arms.
I'm pretty sure
What did
we might
Sean
have
do?
switched actually. I feel like we might have switched.
No, but let's not
Sean,
digress too much.
okay, yeah,
We
yeah, we
gotta
need to get
focus.
back.
We gotta
Okay,
focus. Okay.
yeah, because we're trying to call attention to this big
Yes,
issue. Okay,
absolutely.
next one is suggestion number 5, which is to extend the local and long distance lane separation configuration that's on the I-95, I-495 um, stretch of 95 from the Telegraph Road interchange to the Springfield interchange. So this is a lot of people may remember the Woodrow Wilson Bridge crossing the Potomac River on the southern part of D.C. being very congested a long time ago. And then they rebuilt that bridge, and it's been open for several years. And one of the improvements that they made was that they separated the local and long distance traffic across the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. And this really helps so that you had people that were getting off on a close exit who were only going to be on the road for a short stretch of time, leaving, and then the people that were continuing on for a longer distance could stay in their lane and not have to worry about dealing with people that were getting on and off quickly. So I think they should extend that all the way to the Springfield interchange. So.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have much to say about it specifically since I haven't really been in those situations, but I would think the way you described it, it sounds like a good way to extend it because I know like traffic is caused a lot by like people like moving in and out, and if you have less of the people who are just going to be on it for a little bit, getting in the way of the people who need to be on it, then yeah, that makes a lot of
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm. Yeah, especially in because that stretch of highway is both the Beltway and 95, so it's a wide variety of different traffic patterns on that stretch of road. So the next one is to build express lane ramps at more intersections or more interchanges along 95, such as Lorton Road, Dale Boulevard, Dumfries Road, Route 17 in Stafford County, Virginia Route 3, which I think, actually I can't remember the name of the road, but I know that that's important in Fredericksburg, and then Route 1. So that makes it easier to get on and off the express lanes. And that's important because we want to encourage people to use HOV instead of saying just one person per vehicle in the general lanes. So
I mean, I'm not familiar with a lot of those roads, so I just don't have an
yeah,
opinion on that. I wouldn't
I hope
want to
you're
give an
familiar
opinion
with
if I'm not.
Lorton Road though, aren't
Well,
you?
yeah, I'm absolutely familiar with Lorton Road, and I
Yeah,
agree with you on that, but
yeah. So
I honestly don't drive on the rest of these roads often. I couldn't give an opinion, so.
okay. Okay. So the next one would be to. Oh wow. So this one I actually have widened the general purpose lanes on 95 from 3 to 4 lanes between Route 123 and Dumfries Road in Prince William County, which is 8 miles. So that isn't like the dream scenario. That isn't the ideal scenario. That was just the one, given the current budget shortfall reality that we're facing. So if we were to widen any section of the road, it would be that one,
Oh yeah,
the
because
closest to DC. And then eventually, of course, it would have to go all the way to Fredericksburg and then Richmond. But
Over to Richmond.
Given the limited resources, yeah,
Yeah.
95 has to be 4 lanes all the way to Richmond eventually.
I mean, yeah, if we have a limited budget, we won't be able to do all these. We're gonna have to pick and choose.
So yeah, we just have to go to all the way through Prince William County. Um, Another one, okay, build a general purpose interchange at the Franconia Springfield Parkway to relieve traffic on the Springfield interchange, Fairfax County Parkway, and Lorton Road interchange. Um, so that's another good one to improve traffic flow there. It wouldn't add capacity necessarily, but it would make merging and exiting easier.
Mm. You got provide an alternative access point to the Springfield interchange. Do you have something in mind, or you just think there should be one
Well, I know that there's there's an HOV ramp, which is now an express lanes ramp at the Parkway. So if you were to add lanes or ramps so that regular traffic could get on and off there, then that would help a lot too, because that's near the Springfield Town Center, and then the Franconia Springfield Metro Station. So
It makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I think I skipped over. I had auxiliary lanes on here too. So adding those between interchanges that are heavily traveled is a good one. A good improvement. Okay. Next one is improving alternative north-south routes along the I-95 corridor, including widening and converting intersections to grade-separated interchanges on Route 1 and Route 29, which are both U.S. routes. So that essentially is, once you get past Fredericksburg, 95 stays pretty heavily congested. However, most of the lights and intersections are gone from Route 1. So kind of a hidden secret is that people bail off of 95 and then take Route 1 instead whenever there's an accident on 95 to get to Richmond. So what do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, people are gonna use Route 1 anyway. I would say, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the only opposition I can think of to that plan is that people who live along Route 1 between Fredericksburg and Richmond might be opposed to it because there would be a lot of traffic that's from out of town and they might want to keep it kind of a local road. But
Right, but I think when it comes to like traffic, you would want to take a utilitarian perspective. You want it to be good for everybody, not just like the local people. I-95 especially is for like everybody along the whole East Coast, so I would be like, screw everybody else. It should be for everybody, not just the local populace. And I would think everybody else except that local populace would agree with it.
Yeah, definitely. So that's okay. The next one is to build a bi-county parkway to relieve Dulles corridor-bound traffic from I-95. So this one is more of a unique project. It's a little bit more creative than just making some kind of changes to 95. So this one was proposed. I think it was by the previous governor of Virginia, Bob McDonnell, and he proposed it to spur development and to encourage more freight traffic and more cargo shipments to go out of Dulles Airport. And I was kind of surprised, and I kind of didn't understand the value of this project at first because I thought, well, isn't Route 28 designed to take people to and from Dulles Airport, at least north-south wise? But I guess that this goes further west than Route 28. So, do you think that getting to and from Dulles Airport is a problem? And would you build another highway to do that, or would you work on other solutions?
I mean, I couldn't really say about approaching Dulles from like the far west, but where's like where's the closest other option besides Dulles to
Reagan,
like ship
definitely.
Arco?
I don't think there's really any cargo shipments out of Reagan, but I could be wrong. I haven't done any research, but Reagan's such a small airport. I think that it's entirely passenger traffic.
I don't know. Well, I'd have to look at
Commercial airliners. I don't think
like
there's much cargo, but again, it could be wrong. So I'm open to anybody that wants to point out my
well, yeah, I think we
mistake there.
both need to like look into like what the alternatives to shipping cargo would be, and like
Yeah,
if we need to like compete with other places and
yeah.
to make it easier specifically for
I guess I can look that up
that
now.
place. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
go for it.
So the next one, since I already have it in mind, is to widen all the shoulders on both the left and the right side of the highway on 95 to make it 12 feet wide with full depth pavement. And so this would be in order to provide an emergency lane, like on I-66, past the Beltway, like by Route 123, you can drive on the shoulder at certain times whenever there's the green light.
Oh my gosh.
And so that would be good for an evacuation. So you could turn 95 from 4 lanes to 6, or 3 lanes to 5 by doing that. So like if there was some kind of a natural disaster, or if there was like a terrorist attack or something, and people needed to evacuate DC, they could do so a lot easier. So what do you think about doing that?
I mean, I think especially in our modern times when ISIS said they had like what 1,000 people, let's say 1,000 like agents in the U.S.
Mhm.
and the one place that they would want to attack is they usually go for the heart. They go for DC, and even if it's a small attack, there could be like a panic. There could be like if there's like a bomb threat,
Mhm.
which like at this moment in time could be very credible.
Mhm.
Evacuating DC is very close to reality, so I would say
Mhm.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely crucial. So, with that in mind, going back to the previous discussion when we talked about building an alternative route to get to Dulles Airport, because we said that that was a more important cargo and freight route than Ronald Reagan Airport. I just looked at the statistics here for the freight traffic, and it says that in 2013, so the passenger traffic was 20.4 million at Reagan. Total mail was 122, basically 123,000 pounds, and total freight was uh, 4.1 million pounds. So I don't know what the industry average is. I don't know if that's high, low, if that's average. I don't know how to compare those. But there is a big dip in freight poundage here from 2012 to 2013. It dropped
No,
from over
yeah,
13 million to
that's
4
like
million.
75% drop.
So
That
that's a pretty massive drop. So I wonder if that's because a lot of freight traffic is being diverted to Dulles Airport. So if that is the case, then it is important to build roads or provide some kind of transportation improvements to make sure that big rigs, trucks can get to and from Dulles Airport.
absolutely.
So so yeah, that's very interesting. I'll have to look up, and then maybe in a later video I can discuss whether that's average or below average or above average. So.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it for the roadway improvements for 95. So this is quite a long video. How about that? We're at
We can edit it later.
over 17 minutes, but we can edit it later, get out some of the stuff that we don't like. So, all right. Well, this has been the very first episode of Business with Chad that I have a guest star. So thanks to
All right.
Nathan
Thanks
Arch
for
for the
having me,
video.
Chad.
All right. Thank you. It's been fun.
All right.